Hello guys, and welcome back to this wonderful series of What If Luffy Was Yuta's Reincarnation, Part 7, named Deplorable. A lot of deplorable things are going to happen in this. That's why I made the title so obvious. I don't exactly want to be like an obvious person, but I mean, One Piece is full of horrible people. Anyway, I hope you will enjoy this. It's going to be fun, real fun. Brooke is coming in, and I get to sing Bink's Brew again, so that's good. I'm gonna sing the entire version this time though, so sing along with me when you can. Alright, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all my future videos. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please do that, and comment down below as much as you can. Tell me how your day was, tell me how you're doing, and also like the video so YouTube can, help me out and just, grow a little bit more. I'm trying to do as much as I can before I leave boot camp. It is the thought that counts. Alright, let's begin with the recap. We began with Usopp having to deal with Mary's ruin coming, and then he and Frankie head to Galileo, where he hides and hears about Robin. He would then hide himself as Sogeking and join the Straw Hats in rescuing her. Sanji, who was already ahead, fails to get her but is picked up, and they go to Ennie's lobby together. They barge in, defeat the Marines, and Luffy then goes on ahead and meets Robin. He would then show his willingness to have her come back no matter the consequences, and she would then come back, and they gain 2 new giants as allies via the work of Sogeking. So they head out and have a goodbye to Mary, as Luffy is happy he didn't curse her in her final moments. And upon returning to Water 7, the crew waits for their ship to be made when Frankie then comes to offer him up a ship. And this is when his grandfather comes. He brought Kobe and Helmeppo with him. Luffy exchanged some words. Everyone learns about Dragon being Luffy's dad, and then he leaves. Kobe then promises Luffy to meet him at the New World. He's gonna be much stronger. They leave, and a celebration occurs. And later, the ship is finished, but Luffy has to go talk and convince Frankie to join, which he does. As they leave, Usopp would apologize and is thus brought back, while Garp is attacking, and they take to the sky using coup de vent. And Luffy then tells Usopp that he has a cursed technique now. All over the world, meanwhile, the Straw Hats will be leaving. This news of them, doing all this crazy stuff is spread. Leveling Eddie's lobby, that spreads so much, and people who have known them before, people they've lived with for years, the islands they've visited, everyone hears about it. Zoro's master and friends, Nami's home, they all hear about it. It's quite the spectacle. But now let's go back to the Straw Hats. Stepping away from Usopp, Luffy says, "There, cursed energy." Usopp now radiates the same energy that Luffy uses and imbues into his katana, with him freaking out and asking what he's supposed to do. Well, you don't need to worry. Most people need to train, but you're already scared, usually a lot. But you always control it. You have innate control. What the hell does that mean? Yells Usopp. I don't know. It's your cursed technique. You figure it out. I can't believe this is actually happening, though. Zoro says, how the hell does this stuff even work? Well, for me, it's mimicry of any curse. It doesn't have to be devil fruit ability, honestly. It can just be anything curse related. What Usopp might have is something related to his character. As they snicker, Sanji and Zoro say he's a huge coward, and an angry Usopp would say, I'm as strong as 100 men. I don't know what you're talking about. Their legs are shaking, though, they all think. However, at that moment, they have an eerie feel, including Usopp himself, who bulges with muscle until he returns to his normal size. But as steam would seep through his pores, his muscles grow to a leanish size and become incredibly defined. Is that his technique thing? Frankie asks. Usopp, can you throw a punch? Luffy asks, with him holding his hand up, and Usopp says, sure. And as he throws a punch, the mere impact releases a shockwave that brushes wind past everyone's face. The hell? They all exclaim. Huh? Yeah, I think I got it. Remember how you lied to me the first time you saw us? As he asks, we fade to black, and moments later, Usopp is seen laughing to the skies upon Luffy telling him a hypothesis of what he thinks his technique is. That's so awesome, Usopp, Chopper says. Of course it is. I'm Captain Usopp. Walking off downstairs, though, Robin says that she's happy for him. Well, the others think he's gonna get a big from this, but Luffy says that he needs control to, actually be able to control the power better. So we're gonna train. As Usopp stops laughing, he then turns to the show of horror. What kind of training? Sparring. A lot of it. Come on. Grabbing him by the collar, he then drags Usopp away, following Robin, who chuckles, saying that it seems he has a lot of work to do. And following behind comes Frankie, Sanji, and Nami. Come on, it's not that bad, Nami said. Have fun. Oh, you have a curse technique too, As they hear this, they're shocked once again, with them screaming for him to just stop throwing the stuff out of nowhere and to just reveal it. So that means, yep, you're coming with us. Grabbing her and holding her at his side, Luffy then says they should do their best and not to worry about it. And as they head down the hall with tears coming down their face, they're just asking for help. Yeah, let me show you the Thousand Sunnies aquarium, said Frankie. Anything is better than... Wait a minute, don't do anything weird, Luffy. Sanji yells with him, then running after them, and especially Nami. And Frankie would say, I guess it's just the two of us. After you. Thank you, Robin said. Zoro, meanwhile, would then head down later for some workouts in his own training room, which is something he really loves, and hours would pass until he returns to the deck and he calls everyone over. They bring aboard a barrel which shoots a flare to the sky, causing them to enter the floating triangle, and these seas are harsh with storms and just a lot of mist, and Frankie has to bust out the docks he made so they can make it through. Ghosts? There are ghosts here? Why are you guys being so normal about ghosts? Usopp yells. What are you so scared of? You see a ghost almost every single day. As Usopp lifts an eyebrow to this, Luffy then says Rika's a cursed spirit. She's just a ghost in the most twisted form, tamed by me. I don't think you're gonna find anything more scary than her. Yeah, it feels a bit less climactic now. Shame. I wanted to scare the crap out of you, says Sanji. Realizing that they've all met something worse than ghosts, they're left a bit disappointed because they're not that scared anymore. That's when they would actually hear a melody, as Luffy would then feel an immense amount of negative energy, and through the dark mist, a ghost ship makes its appearance, with Luffy then taken to the skies. There's someone on there. As everyone squints and looks closer, they see its skeleton enjoying his tea. Yo-ho-ho-ho. Hello there. Sup? The pirates say nonchalantly. You answered me? A shocked Brook would say, but the pirates didn't ask him why he would say hi if he didn't want anyone to talk to him. Luffy at that moment would then land behind him, and Brook would then turn and bow, introducing himself. Oh, okay, my name's Luffy. How long have you been here for? A long time. It's good to have visitors. As he left, Luffy would then ask if he wanted to join his crew, and Brook would say, sure, he'd love to. Very quick. This leads to him coming on to the ship in the kitchen and getting some food, but honestly, no one really cares. They're not scared. They are not that suspicious of him. Their captain constantly uses curses on people, and one of their own 2 people now have the ability to do the same thing. So freakishness is like kind of spreading in their group. So how'd you end up like this? Nami asks. Oh, a long time ago I ate the yomi yomi nomi, but you see, the fruit only took effect after I died, so my soul returned to this bony body of mine years later. Well, I never heard of a skeleton with hair, Zoro says, and Brook says he has very strong roots. Yeah, now I get why you can copy these things. They're like the ultimate curse. You're alive, but not at the same time. And you can't swim, Sanji says. Jeez. Speaking of which, it looks like the fruit took something else, Luffy says, but then looking down at his feet, and he has no shadow. As he sips some tea, Brook will then explain what happened. Yeah, that's right. I'm not only shunned by the sun, I've lost all my friends, but I only worked myself to the bone to survive for years and years with illusions. Well, my bones remain though. Shut up. Ah, what a wonderful day this has been. I met people, real people. Sorry, it's just been a while. I've been stuck on this part of the seas for 5 years. I thought I was gonna die. Yo. The relief in his voice is so massive that it feels as though Brook might be the most cursed level fruit user they've seen, both literally and figuratively in every sense. I was so happy when you asked me to join your crew, but it might not be possible. As I said, I can't step into the sunlight without being hurt. Well, that won't be an issue for long, Luffy said, but then asking him to look behind him, and as he does, he's frightened by a ghost phasing into the kitchen while everyone is just stoic. And Luffy says to follow him, and as they head to the deck, they go there and see Thriller bark right in front of them, and Brook is shocked. When did that island get here, Frankie yells. It's the ship that, well, it's the island ship. Thriller bark, said Brook. Floating island? Maybe that's why the log pose isn't reacting, Nami said. Of course, the ship came from the East Blue. But this is where we might have to part ways. With a leap, he almost floats to the Sunny's head, and everyone is a bit surprised at how fast he is. But Luffy says that they're coming with him. Oh, Nami, Usopp, remember, keep calm, and you'll be fine. That's the first step to being a sorcerer. Taking to the sky, he then flies with Brook, who says, oh, I forgot you could fly. What different fruit did you eat? Didn't eat any. You're a strange fellow. I guess we have that in common. Quite true. As they come to land, they would then start walking into a forest, Luffy then asking, so you used to be a pirate? Oh yeah, I was the musician of my crew. Oh, I really need a musician right now. What a coincidence, it seems we're bound by fate. Yo. Oh, looks like we have some company. They walk into a cemetery where zombies climb out of nowhere, like they just grunt and moan and march forward, but Luffy then raising his fist and covering them with Haki while Brook unsheathes his blade. Charging forward, they would then attack them. Meanwhile, the crew would split up. Usopp, Nami, and Chopper took the mini-Mary to the island, which is extremely like this nostalgic little mini-Mary. And Nami said, man, everything about this place is so creepy. Which way do you guys think we should go? They would then hear some ruffling and stop. Looking forward, they see a 3-headed dog stitched up together, drooling at them, and they become frozen until it charges at them. But instinctively turning their fear into cursed energy, Nami and Usopp envelop themselves with it. I'm as strong as 100 men. With these words, Usopp would then bulk up and compress his muscles, as he would then tackle the monster to the ground, leaving it confused and terrified when Usopp's hold then straightened and just straightens like he's being choked out. Do it, Nami. Let's see your technique. Holding her hand out, she would then use her technique, and a golden ticket forms before her. Cool, what is on there? Chopper asked. Nami, seeing a ticket of 1 billion berries, million, my bad, will then slap it, and as it spins, it explodes and takes the form of a fan. A binding valve that activates, detailing the effect of the tool to Nami, who says it's completely useless. What? He and Chopper and Usopp would be surprised, leading to Usopp letting go of the zombie in surprise, which would then bite him, making him scream as well as his friends, but then he says, oh, this doesn't hurt. He punches through the creature's stomach, making it wired as it is then sent flying, and looking back at the two, he puts a thumbs up, and they do the same. It's really useless though, Usopp asks. I mean, useless against that thing, yeah. It releases a gust of wind. I mean, she waves it to the sea, saying it's not going to do anything, when a massive blast of powerful wind splits the seas, leaving them, like, just completely baffled. That's super powerful, the three exclaim. As they panic about this on the Sunny, the remaining stars surround the knocked out Absalom, who just tried to assault Robin, and feel horribly upon Zoro noticing and cutting him across the chest. This bastard needs to be disciplined, says Sanji, and he would have a murderous look as they all do, and they nod in agreement. Meanwhile, Luffy and Brook meet the same old man who resembles a zombie, asking for help in defeating the warlord Gecko Moria. Please don't talk too much. What are you doing here, sir? Luffy asks. I don't know how. Some of us were just taken. Some of us didn't even know how we got here. We don't have time to sleep, and we're busy running from zombies every day. As he cries, silence fills the air, with Luffy then covering him with reverse cursed energy. All his injuries close up, causing his stitches on his face to fall out, and he looks at himself, shocked where Luffy would stand, saying, "We should have kicked his ass for you. Bro, let's go." Well, they turn and start leaving with the man, then thanking them, while Luffy said that he didn't realize how much Gecko Moria had ruined, like, just in general. Is that his home? As they come in front of the castle, Brook would say, yes. Good. Get ready for a massacre. When they get into the castle, they would then split up, with Luffy running and searching for Gecko Moria. The others also soon arrive and come in, and they split up. They're attacked by hordes and hordes of zombies, and the owners of Thriller Bark are now aware that they've arrived. However, Usopp, Nami, and Chopper are actually doing very good. Every curse tool that Nami uses actually can be kept for 24 hours, and at the end of the day, it may stay or leave, so it's very random, but right now she's like pretty strong. Usopp makes every attack of his devastating without even needing to use a slingshot because he imbues himself with cursed energy a little bit, but he still like uses it because it's flashy, even though he can knock like zombies down with a punch. And knock a zombie to the floor, for example, he leaps to the sky and fires a shot, saying, "My shots hurt a ton." His shot would then hit and blow through a zombie and just destroy it to smithereens with incredible pressure, and before it rips through many others, before then carving through a wall, causing a massive explosion. He would then fall and roll, but feel extremely drained, saying, "I guess using a lie on top of another drains me. I'll just have to rely on the one I have right now." He's still like enhanced by the one that made him superhumanly strong. So that added with cursed energy makes him, you get what I'm trying to say. So yeah, Usopp's curse technique turns his words into reality, but he needs to lie to make it occur. So saying he's as strong as 100 men actually makes him that strong, like Rokushiki levels of strong, but his commands have to be simple, and can't be things like "I'm the strongest." That's a complex sentence, and strong means very different things to a lot of people, but he can still do things like control probability, he can manipulate the size of people and animals, and just as you saw, he can control mass and weight, but his commands have to be specific, like what happens when you mess up with the wish on a genie, for example. But in his case, nothing is going to happen. Like, just nothing happens. If he messes up on a command, nothing happens. And Chopper fights just much better because he isn't scared, which I believe was something that he is like less reclusive of, because he has seen no one scarier than Rika. The reason why it was so comedic in the original is because they were all scared as hell. And with her fan, Nami would get good hits in, but avoids releasing his power in tight spaces because she could blow everything apart, until she realizes she can control the power by controlling how hard she waves the fan. Brook ends up meeting Robin and Frankie, but Luffy meanwhile is ambushed as he nears another staircase in the castle, and he enters a room that seems like it's ready for a banquet. Zombies surround him from everywhere, and from above, the top of the staircase lands Perona. Master says he wants you, but I don't get it though. You're not yeah, you're not cute at all. Oh crap, Luffy says. You must have realized how screwed he is, huh? I guess you do have a conscience. Rika, don't. Bursting from her void, the Queen of Curses then shows herself with her screams releasing a blast of Conqueror Spirit, freezing everyone on their steps as her eyes pop out of their sockets, including Perona, who in the blink of an eye is then grabbed by Rika. Who do you think you're talking to, Luffy? Don't talk to Luffy like that. You hear me? What is this thing? How are you grabbing me? I'm a ghost right now. Perona yells, rather than creating her ghosts like her other attacks and throwing them at her, but when they touch and explode, they're blown away, leaving her so terrified that she passes out, while Rika just keeps shaking her as she is slowly pulled back by Luffy, who takes her to the void, and as he sheathes his sword, Luffy will make all the zombies fall down. Take it easy, Rika, it's not like that. Running up the stairs, Luffy would then hope that, that doesn't happen again, and then he barges into a room where he sees Gecko Moria with Hogback and his assistant. I forgot her name, but she's really not that important in the grand scheme of things right now. And Hogback would say, "Oh, there he is, my new specimen. What happened to Perona? She disappeared. So, you Gecko Moria, don't look at me like that, brat." Hogback would then send his assistant at Luffy, but in a flash, she appears before Gecko Moria as she is hit by a delayed impact that slams her face first, into the ground, into the floor, and as he slashes, Luffy then sees a shadow hand rise, with Gecko Moria smiling. Once you see that shadow be rid of its hand, and a cut appears on his face. Huh? Luffy then appears right behind him at that moment and punches him, but more specifically, the surface of the sky, causing a crack that sends Gecko Moria flying and crashing through a wall into the hallway. Was that the quick fruit? He says he staggers up and he spews blood, which he's left baffled at. And looking into the room, he sees Luffy land with his doppelganger head now being sliced off, and the shadow returns to Gecko Moria, who asks how the hell Luffy can use Whitebeard's fruit. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I've already copied your curse, so it's time to give Brook his shadow back. With these words, he summons Rika, whose shadow then begins to warp as well as his own, creating shadow doubles of themselves, and Hogback and Moria are just left shocked. He can copy devil fruits, Lord Moria. I know that, you idiot. Get him. Moria yells with him, then reforming his doppelganger and having a charge at them, but the shadow doppelgangers of Luffy and Rika begin to easily fight and rip this thing apart, with the real Luffy and Rika claw Moria through a building and a wall and then another until they're then crashing out of the castle and start to fall down into the forest. Curse you, Straw Hat. That's my line, but I won't curse you today. I'll just kill you. Releasing a pure blast of cursed energy from his blade, he turns a black for a second and it craters the warlord into the ground. The entire island will shake for a moment. As this occurs, Luffy would then take flight and stop himself, asking Rika for help, and as she nods, they would then take control of Moria's power and thus begin to ooze shadows. Now we're going to cut to Brook. As he is saved by Zoro, his shadow actually leaves that of the one-eyed swordsman Ryoma, and thus leaving this corpse inanimate, and as it falls, Brook's shadow returns to him. And Zoro would say, "It's not fun when they don't get a chance to actually fight against me." Brook meanwhile would then stand, now having a shadow again, and being so happy, he jumps to the air like a child, and Zoro would say to calm down. He said he'd get it back, so he did. Well, you can understand my happiness, though. Now I can finally keep my promise to Laboon. Huh? Huh? Wait, is there a ghost somewhere? Brook asks. And Zoro is, of course, surprised, this connection. I love Oda sometimes. Now, all over the island, the shadows are taken from zombies and returned to those that are actually the owners of them, and this extends to those in the Foreign Triangle that were unable to get out, and they're just filled with joy, whether they be marine or pirate, and even normal people who have been forced to hide in their homes. And in the East Blue, anywhere that Third Bark has been around, they're freed now. But Gecko Moria begins to rise and feels extremely weak as he sees Luffy lower down to his level, readying his sword for a fight. I am the warlord Gecko Moria. I fought against Kaido, you little shit. Don't take me lightly. Blitzing forward, the Rika in anger claws his face off, making him scream, "Who the hell is Kaido, you idiot?" She continues to claws at him again and again, relentlessly, but Luffy doesn't really care and simply sheathes his blade since she has this, and the warlord would then cry out in anger, but soon those cries stop. "Oh, I carry your curse too," Luffy said. As time passes, those who were forced to hide come out and come to find Gecko Moria's body being burnt by Luffy, who waits at them at land, saying, "Sorry that took so long. You guys don't have to worry about that anymore." As we're left completely shocked to see such a scene, Lola makes her way through and asks who he is, and Luffy would then bow, introducing himself. "I'm the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates." "You're a pirate? Why does everyone keep saying..." "You know what? Forget it." Eventually, they then come to trust him enough, though, to let him heal them, and the whole crew gathers. Everyone's just happy to be freed. The old man gives a hug to Luffy, who says it's nothing. But at that moment, Nami then comes and says that she has something to tell him, when they then hear a transmitted voice and look around, wondering who is saying this stuff, until Usopp points up and atop some rubble. They see a man talking to a transponder. Lola then gets extremely scared, saying, "It's another warlord, Bartholomew Kuma." She says this, leaving everyone horrified, and they get ready for a fight, but the Straws will look to Luffy, who says, No ill intent, my bad. And Kuma then tells the transponder that Moria has been killed. "Are you kidding me? We can't keep losing warlords like this. Marine Hero Group didn't even propose a title to him. Would you like me to?" asked Kuma. "Yes, and if he says no, annihilate him." In that instant, Luffy then appears before Kuma, grabbing and crushing the transponder, saying, "No." In that instant, he and Luffy would then appear behind the crowd, staring at each other, and they turn, with Kuma then holding his Bible at his side, and the others are just shocked they didn't even see him move. "Luffy, you sure this guy's good?" Usopp asks. "Yeah, don't move. I won't be joining the warlords. Sorry." So they're offering him a spot, eh? Frankie says. Quite literally the worst person for the job in my opinion, said Robin. What can I say? I don't really like the world government, Luffy says. As he hears this, Kuma will then palm strike the air, hitting Luffy and pushing him back as he spews blood and making the Straw Hats move, but as he stops himself, Luffy then holds his hand out as he applies cursed energy to himself to heal himself, and he says like to not do anything, just wait. And Kuma asks, is this the extent of your power, Straw Hat? With a sigh, Luffy will then smile, saying, you know you can't hurt me anymore, right? You must know I can copy devil fruits. You already lost. As they just stand there, Kuma would then surprisingly laugh and walk past them, saying he has the power to deflect anything with his paws. And Luffy asks why he did this. Who knows, but my victory is now uncertain, so I must return. In the blink of an eye, he then disappears, and the Straw Hats will run to Luffy as they berate him by letting himself get hit and stuff. Like, bro, stop spewing blood every episode. Stop always getting hurt, you idiot. Sorry, he wasn't really gonna do much though. I think he wanted me to copy his ability. Is nothing normal gonna happen today? Usopp asks. After this, some time would then pass, and exactly 1 day later, when they have finished raiding the home the warlords completely to take this treasure, Nami will then lose her cursed tool, which leaves her devastated. It was very powerful, but then they gather to somewhere else to party, liven up. They deserve it, and they eat, drink, and Brook would say, this meat just makes my taste buds light up. Oh, not that I have any. Shut up and eat already, Frankie shouts, leaving everyone laughing, as this is when Brook's eyes then actually trail off to see a piano, which he walks to and sits at and starts playing. I thought you played the violin, Sanji asked. Yeah, and every instrument you've ever heard of. I take requests. Alright then, let me think of something. How about Binks's brew? Don't ask me if you're not gonna let me suggest. Walking over and jumping atop the instrument, however, Luffy would say to play it. I love that song. It's a classic. You have good taste. He then begins to play the sound, which feels extremely nostalgic, strangely to everyone. They never heard it before, but it feels right. And as he plays, Luffy will then say, I heard you were Laboon's friend. Don't worry, he's still waiting for you. Sir Zoro told me. He must be so big by now. As big as a mountain. I can picture him even now. After all these years, he must be. He was rowdy, but he was a good child. His fingers unaggressively would hit the keys with him, then shivering with happiness as he breaks into crying. Thank God, he's okay. After all this time. And he doesn't blame you, so don't worry. He's just waiting for you to come back. As he wipes his tears, the man would then get back to playing, asking how he's holding up. And Luffy says there's a nice man taking care of him there, and this leads to him opening up his skull and bringing out a certain dial. How the hell does your body even work, man? Are you like a storage or something? As he laughs, Rick will then lay down a device saying that the device recorded sounds, and the crew, of course, remembers these dials. It's a dial from Skypiea asking what's on it. The last song I sang with my crew. Yo ho yo ho yo ho yo ho yo ho yo ho. Gather up all of the crew, it's time to ship on Binks's brew. See when blows to where, who knows, the waves will be your guide. Or across the ocean's tide, rays of sunshine far and wide. Birds they sing the cheerful things in circles passing by. Bid farewell to Weaver's Town, say so long to Port Renown. Sing the song, it won't be long before we're casting off. Cross the gold and silver seas, the salty spray puts us at ease. Day and night toward the light, the voyage never ends. Gather up all of the crew, it's time to ship up Binks's brew. Pirates we eternally are challenging the sea. With the waves to rest our heads, ship beneath us as our best. Hoisted up upon our mast, our jolly Roger flies. Somewhere in the endless sky, stormy winds are blowing by. Waves are dancing, evening comes, it's time to sound the drums. But steady men may never fear, tomorrow's skies are always clear, so pound your feet and clap your hands till sunny days return. Yo ho yo ho yo ho yo ho yo ho yo ho yo. Gather up all of the crew, it's time to ship our Binks's brew. Wave goodbye, but don't you cry, our memories remain. Our days are but a passing dream, everlasting though they seem. Beneath the moon we'll meet again, the winds are lullaby. Gather up all of the crew, it's time to ship our Binks's brew. Sing a song and play along for all the oceans wide. After all is said and done, you'll end up a skeleton. So spread your tail from dusk till dawn upon these foamy seas. Yo ho yo ho yo ho yo ho yo 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 yo. Brook joins the crew, as you might be able to get from the happiness and bitterness of the song. Leaving behind his dark days alone, he prepares to join the Straw Hats and does so the next day. A grave is then made by Frankie to allow him to give a good farewell to his crewmates to gather up their bones, and the pirates will then split up and go their separate ways, with Lolo giving Nami a Vivo card as they have connected a bit over the party. Now, as the crew gets ready to welcome Brook to the crew, we see Luffy looking to his Vivo card from Ace and looking concerned when he's then called by the guys. Oh yeah, sorry, welcome to the crew. Grabbing a jug of like a booze, he toasts with his new member and he says, "Let's get along, Brook. You're too kind," said the skeleton. Riding forward, they would then come across some new sights, such as the snake current, giant furry animals living in the seas, and crazy weather until they reach the red line. Damn, is this stupid if I feel... Why are you crying, Luffy? Usopp yells. Because we've been through so much together, man. We're finally here. I know it's just a baby. It was over 30 years ago. And yeah, it's just amazing. I'm still here, Frankie said. 5 years ago, I came to the sea on the West Blue. It feels quite unreal, said Robin. The sentiment is shared, and so many things have changed. It's just, amazing. The journey has been long, and this series is long as hell. Hey guys, check this out. I have some giant wings, Usopp says. With him using his techniques and giving himself white wings that spread from his back, he takes to the sky, leaving Chopper completely astonished, with Nami asking if he can see anything cool from up there. Just a lot of mist, but being able to do this is awesome. Wait, I have an idea. He deactivates the transformation and starts to fall, saying, "I can breathe underwater." As he falls to the sea, he doesn't pop gills or anything, but he finds it very easy to breathe with his normal organs, and he's just shocked at how far he can take this technique. Not gonna lie, Usopp is gonna be OP. He's the perfect vessel for cursed energy. He has enough negative emotion and yet a hint of bravery to become an awesome Jutsushi. Had he not met Luffy, like this version of Luffy, it never would have happened though. So I just want to make that clear. Like, cursed energy cannot be learned in One Piece. It's just transferred by Luffy in a way that I will tell you about later, which actually makes a lot more sense when you think about it. Now, rising to the surface, he then waves to everyone and they come to see him at the edge. I'll be able to breathe for about a while, so I'll scout for us. That power is ridiculous as hell, Frankie said. Look for anything like dangerous down there, Nami said. With a nod, he then dives back while Frankie has Brook go to the submarine that they have now, and he joins Usopp down below. Robin also joins in, questioning Usopp how it feels to actually be able to breathe underwater. It's kind of weird. I feel like I'm part fishman or something. Ah, God, Usopp has descended. Yo, well, I never would have gotten this awesome without Luffy, so you can thank him. Soon they would then resurface and say they didn't really see anything, but that's when a sea rabbit lunges at them from behind the Sunny. But with the punch, Luffy then forms paws on his hands and he palm strikes the air, releasing a massive shockwave that hits the stomach of the creature, sending it flying as it spews a bunch of blood. This devil fruit is dangerous, huh? Luffy thought. I wasn't even trying that hard. But something else then comes from that creature's mouth. This would land in the arms of Sanji, who with a shocked look would then spew blood from his nose. He's gonna die! Kami yells. As he drops her, he would then fall himself, mumbling that he met a real mermaid and held her, while Chopper would then tend to him, with everyone just kind of being surprised to meet a mermaid. And Robin and the others make it back and greet her. I feel like I already made... Never mind. Oh no, I didn't make them. They resurface. They go to the ship now. My bad. I feel like I'm just not specifying things enough. So they're just kind of surprised. But Kami is a bit freaked out at first, but she gets used to them, and they didn't really seem hostile. But Papag will then get in front of her, because he's kind of overprotective, and he says, "Don't do anything freaky, you hear me?" "It's a talking starfish?" yells Chopper, and Papag will then yell that he was a talking reindeer, and it's not that weird. "May I see your panties?" Brook asks. "I don't wear any," Kami says, and this is when both Papag and Nami would just kick him away, reprimanding him. But Kami finds it more funny, if anything, because again, the notion of panties is bizarre. Fish don't wear them. Fishmen don't wear them. Sanji is then revived and just feeling full of life. He begins to dote on Kami. "You guys shouldn't be that surprised. Granny Kokoro was a mermaid, Frankie said. "Don't you ever put that image in my head," Sanji yells. This is when Kami remembers something and actually calls Hachin, but of course the call is not received by Hachin but instead by his captors, and this means that he's in trouble. But the Straw Hats promise to help, and using a school of fish, she asked them to give some pointers to where Grove 44 is, where Hachin is being kept. "I should warn you," Papag said, "those kidnappers are just the first in line of many criminals in Sabaody. Trading in things such as humans are normal over there." "They sell people?" Sanji yells. "Oh, this is not gonna be good." Looking to Luffy, they all notice his eyes have gone dead, with him saying, "Kill them, any owner of them, without discrimination or gender." "Yes, that means even you, Sanji." It sort of runs down their spine, with them all just being terrifying, and Kami saying that Luffy became super scary. Robin says that sometimes a switch just kind of flips when Luffy's pissed. We're gonna be causing another huge uproar. Snapping out of his rage, however, Luffy says that right now this should go to help Hachin, but he still doesn't like that slavery stuff. Like, again, okay, I want to specify that Luffy is reincarnation of someone from the 21st century. That shit is fucked up. He will not tolerate it. Like, no. Like, someone can tell him that don't, like, it's normal. Nah. Just nah. Like, that's just not okay. So he'll take any responsibility. This is why I don't like the world government, he would say. Well, you don't gotta tell us twice, Usopp said. I'll free them with my awesome technique. I was thinking of calling it command. What do you think? At that moment, however, something swishes the air and it can be heard as they all look up to see gangsters flying on some flying fish, and three of them would approach and throw bombs, but Luffy would then hold his hand out and freeze them as he wraps them with the sky in some point in space, and they explode, unraveling everything and returning the sky back to normal. And the man is scared off with them realizing that those were the Star Pirates and they have to report to their boss. Luffy then tells Frankie to follow. He tells Frankie to like make the ship follow them. He does this while activating the cannons for Usopp, and very soon they reach the incident of the flying fish raiders, but everything is strangely quiet. But then they see a cage hung up above the water. Wait a minute, Pipok says. Hachin? Did you get burnt? What did they do to you? Kami asks. Oh, no, I have my reasons. This is a trap, so get out of here, okay? Luffy, having been the only reason that actually fought Hachin in this version of events, recognizes him and really doesn't know what to do, with him then looking to Nami, who begins to think, and she of course recognizes him instantly, and Frankie asks what's up. Luffy will then explain everything, which leaves them in a pretty tough spot, and Kami asks, but you know Hachin? Oh yeah, Luffy says. The decision goes to you, Nami. As Nami thinks about this, the odds of Hachin being, left behind rise so much that the mermaid then jumps into the sea to reach him, but in worry, Pipok joins her, and they both get ambushed and caught by hiding flying fish raiders in the sea. Yeah, we caught one. I heard they cost a lot. Upon hearing this, Luffy snaps as he disappears, and Kami with Pipok do as well. Luffy appears at the bridge of the base, and the flying fish raiders then explode with cuts, and they die, of course. Nami said, you know what, Hachin's always been kind of a softie. Besides, we promised, right? Good, Luffy said. Is that actually true? Usopp asked. And Nami would then say, it is true. Like Hachin is extremely naive and nice, and also she's kind of like just scared of the damage that Luffy will cause. So with tears in his eyes, Hachin would then thank Nami and Luffy for this, just as more flying fish raiders would then leap out from the sea, and they near the Sunny. They drop some more bombs, but Usopp would then say that they will miss, and so they do, leaving them shot as Zoro with a spin then releases shockwaves that cut them and their fish apart. He then cuts Hachin free, and they fall to the sea, and they then get back to the shore, and Hachin just thanks Zoro, and Zoro would say that not to thank him. Luffy said to, so I did. It ain't much to it. I don't really like you. Luffy at the moment then walks over carrying Kami and Hachin, and they would just like hug, seeing that he's sorry about worrying her. And Brook would leap to the skies with a violin, would then attack the two near him as he plays with the instrument using his sword and releases a melody that makes them fall asleep. As they crash, he then lands and runs on the water before then blitzing and cutting many more in his way. Sorry for the late entrance, Captain. Nah, you're fine. Using her lightning temple, Nami would then injure some of them, and Luffy makes her lightning not hit anyone from the crew, and this gives her a sum of 4 million berries on a ticket, which she spins, and it explodes into a shield as the tools used instantly then fills her brain. Nami's technique goes as follows, by the way, if I haven't explained it. By extracting physical and mental pain or just psychological pain from her enemies that she messed with herself, she can't make anyone she can't take pain from other people being hurt. She has to do it herself. She gets a ticket of 10 to 100 million berries, which can be exchanged for a random cursed tool. This may be useless, maybe not, but it's worth more and has more of an effect of being OP if it's higher than 50 million or at 50 million. So she always gets something good, or something like average in the Jujutsu Kaisen world, but just kind of OP. I'm trying to make sure this doesn't go OP. Okay, let's say that it can always be good, you be good or bad, but if it's at 50 million, then it's ultimately gotta be good. Let's say that. All right, so yeah, it's always gonna be good if it's above 50 million or at 50 million. So it's just about luck sometimes. Yeah, as shown, the effect of the tools were directly given to her via binding vow, and after 24 hours, it may stick around or disappear. That's also random. That's why her fan was so awesome, but I had to take it away because that shit is OP. And Frankie with that ass, what can that one do? Shoot that fire attack at me, please, she asks. Frankie with a grin and says that sounds crazy, but that's what the screw is about. He fires a blast of flames from his mouth, but as it reaches the shield, Nami will then buckle a bit, shift her position, and hit as she throws it to the sky, and it expands in size, hitting and enveloping their enemies, their aerial enemies, and she then says it counters any attack and reflects it back 2 folds. Oh, you gotta keep that one, Usopp says, rather than saying that it's not really her choice, but she does want to keep it. On the hideout, this is when Duval makes an entrance with his giant bull, tearing everything up as he makes his way to Luffy, Zoro, and the fishmen. "Ah, today's gonna be a happy day," he said. His remaining men would then apologize for failing, and he would say to shut up, and this is a special moment. Pointing to Sanji, he would then say that he wants to get revenge on him. "I don't know what the hell you're talking about," Sanji says. "I don't know you." "Oh, really? Look at me," Duval says, with him taking off his mask to show a drawn picture. Well, what was the drawn picture of Sanji's poster, which is actually him, by mistake, leaving everyone both shocked and horrified as he seems massively hurt. "Every day getting chased by the name, I say, I don't attack, I'm not a pirate, I don't even know that guy. Give me my life back, you bastard." Sanji would then run to swim and then reach him just to kick his face in, telling him to shut up, saying he could just change his hairstyle or something, or wore literally any type of mask. And that's completely true. From here on out, nothing changes, and Sanji changes his face with like a bunch of kicks, leaving Duval indebted to him, but like they go separate ways. Luffy does not associate with niggas like that. Like, he literally said he was gonna sell fishmen. Hell nah. Like, there's a line to this shit. And as they reach Sabaody, they separate and reach Sabaody, it is quite the sight to behold. Luffy then asking, "Are those soap bubbles?" "The island makes them, but no, they're not soap bubbles," Kami says. "It's resin," Hachi says. By the way, your lock post won't register this place. It's not an island. It's just a clump of mangrove, so don't worry about it." "Well, wait a minute. Are they those plants that have grown from the sea?" Robin says. "So they have no magnetic force." "Good. I hate waiting all the time," Nami says. As they get closer, they would then anchor and walk on the grass and touch the bubbles to confirm that they are not soap. They're indeed resin, and jumping onto one, Luffy then bounces to another, going higher and higher. And Chopper said, "Wow, look at Luffy go." "Oh, I see the amusement park from here. We should go," says Brook. "That's about what Purple says, but you'll have to go without us. Humans aren't exactly friendly to our type." "Well, screw that," Luffy says, with him and landing back down and saying if anyone says anything, he'll send them flying. "Actually, about that, please do not get involved with the war nobles. They're unhinged and those sick marines after you just for doing like the slightest thing," Hachin says. "As long as they don't do anything, then sure. Come on, guys." Running ahead, he then leaves Hachin worried, but the others just say like chill out and just have fun. So they get some bubble bikes and check the grove out while moving into a new one. Meanwhile, Zoro gets lost. However, as they go down a new street, they start to hear screams and stop. As soon they see a man running down the street asking for some help and tugging at a collar around his neck. He would say, "I'm begging you, please. I just want to go home with my wife. My kid doesn't even remember my face. He's too young. He's then grabbed by the face at this moment, with Luffy being the one who had done this, leaving everyone wondering what he's doing. And with a smile, Luffy then says, "Don't worry, I got you." Grabbing the collar, he then shatters it with ease, leaving the man shocked. But Hachi then yells for him to throw it away, and Luffy would do so as it blows up, leaving his crew completely horrified, and himself as well. "They would have blown him up?" Nami said. "These people are monsters." Grabbing the man, Luffy then goes to run when he hears a voice. "What do you think you're doing?" The citizens then make way and bow before the Celestials, who arrive dragging a slave, Jean the Giant Jean, with some guards around them. Hachin then has everyone hide and apologizes for cowering to begin with. "Don't worry about it, Robinson. Luffy would thank you." "Father, don't you have an extra collar somewhere?" "I want a new slave," Shalaria said. You commoner, who told you to free your pet?" asked Oswald. The former slave is left a bit shaken, but Luffy stands unsheathing his blade as he then points to the Celestial, who is shocked to, such an ant doing this or even thinking of hurting them. And their knights will then get in front of him, telling him to put down his blade. "I've decided, after seeing you bastards, all I want to do is curse you." He begins to flow his cursed energy, giving off a murderous aura, and everyone gasps as they wonder what the hell this idiot is doing. What will be the fate of these Celestials? How will the Marines react afterwards? Find out in the next part of One Piece, speaking of Weapons of Withers, and I'm ending this off here. Peace. I'm gone.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blow me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn.